Louise. Yeah, but they up man. Ugh.
I could link up. This is tough. Oh, yeah, the setup's nice. All right, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the very first episode of the Kliché podcast. So this is the podcast where we dive into cliche topics, the tried and true principles that our guests have embraced to achieve their professional success. We also explore how prioritizing mental health is important through these high levels of achievement. So today's cliche topic is, as we discussed, stay down until you come up.
Stay down till you come up.
Yeah. So people use it, but we want to talk about how it's done and the mental process that comes along with the process, right? So today we have no other than Dr. Dano Norseed, licensed physical therapist and athletic trainer for the Arizona Cardinals. Welcome, Dano.
Thank you, bro. It's an honor, bro.
So today's cliche topic is, again, stay down until you come up. So we hear people use that phrase frequently, right? Some people might have heard on social media platforms, the people using their lyrics, stay 10 toes down, right? But at this point, it's pretty cliche. So, but given your journey to where you are now, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I like the title of the podcast and also the theme. Obviously, we talked about this in preparation for this podcast because, cliche topics is the reason why they're so cliche is because they sound kind of like corny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as I was thinking and preparing for the podcast, I'm like, cliche topics are so ideal because they're so easy to comprehend if you just like simply read what it says.
Yeah.
Right. Stay down till you come up. You introduced it and said, doctor of physical therapy and athletic trainer for currently the Arizona Cardinals. That was definitely one of my biggest dreams and aspirations was to, once I kind of figured out what I wanted to do academically, was to be able to, gain a degree, gain certification, and then be able to practice at the highest platform, which was pro sports. And then it kind of got tunneled to the NFL. But during that process, however you want to, call the process from the academia start or from, since we was grinding and so forth, it was just like you have a dream and you just stay down till you come up, right? That's with everything. All right, Brett, during the process, financial situations, broke, rejections, denial. All right, keep going. You stay down till you come up, right? Like you got to humble and do small tasks, work at odd jobs just to get funds and means to get to an internship or just get to a different state and platform. But in those steps, it's the come up, and the real come up is achieved once you get the job and in a different level, but you still got to stay down, keep your head down, keep tunnel vision until you see the profit, until you see and achieve your goal. Something, so simple to comprehend, but we could go all over the place with it. So I just embodied it. Obviously, like you said, listening to music and understanding and just, writing it down, hashtagging it and just creating it as a lifestyle, stay down till you come up. I'm still staying down till I come up because as although I have achieved and been able to get in this platform, now I have other goals and aspirations and I can't bend, fold, or break because I'm still in the stay down till you come up phase, although, you know what I'm saying? So
let's go back to your roots. So me and you, we talk on a professional level and we talk on a personal level, but let's go a little bit to the personal, right?
Right.
Dano Norseed, Haitian descent, both parents come immigrants from Haiti. Let's start there. Let's talk about your roots, mama. You know what I'm saying? Like you a Zoe. Let's talk a little bit more about that and how bringing you have from two parents, immigrants from a third world country, right?
Right.
How did that mold you to be who you are today and get you to that high level of achievement?
It's the sole foundation for real, bro. Like we talk about this all the time. And you being Panamanian, Hispanic, that's still kind of still in the same umbrella.
Both parents from Panama.
So like the stay down till you come up, bro. Like we seen it, right? Like my mom working many jobs and not having everything that I seen other parents have or wondering why we can't have what we want, versus what we need, they were staying down till they came up. I just realized my little brother hit me up the other day and
Shout out
said,
to Dodger.
shout out to Dodger, bro, at Drexel holding it down. He's
At
staying.
Drexel holding it down. Little bro following big bro footsteps. The
Wait,
toughness, you know what I'm saying?
bro, he gonna surpass me, bro.
He's in the field to be a surgeon, right?
That's his aspiration.
That's
You know, he's right now at Drexel in med school, so that's definitely grateful and a great step. But just like, you know, also him stay down to come up. But I want to go back to how we got into that conversation about even bringing Dodger up. Was Dodger said, "Yo, you know, Dad just turned 70," and it's like, dang. And then we kind of like spin it back, like, yo, you know, Dad did things right, but yo, my dad didn't come to America, and I don't know this accurately because it's you know, so much time apart and so forth. But you know, me and my brother say my dad came to America like when he was in his 30s. See what I mean? So that was a dream and aspiration for him. He had to stay down till he came up to get here, and we can go into all that, like, you know, immigration, how they had to go through their obstacles and loopholes, and before they could get a house. You know, we get an apartment. You know, so you don't do certain stuff until you come up, and the come up is, you don't even know what the come up is, right? Because I don't think my mom and my dad knew that their come up would be to have two children in America that are now doing what they're able to do. That's the come up for them. But if you go all the way back to when they were like in their teens or in their age, just like us, their stay down was to get over here. You know, seeing the land of freedom, the land of better opportunity to create stability and foundation for your children so that they can come up and, you know, be able to, you know, not let the sacrifices go in vain, or you know, return the favor. You know, they did what they had to do. I wouldn't be here without my parents. Like, you wouldn't be here without your parents. So yeah, that's what we doing, you know, as fathers and so forth, and for brothers, and all, we're doing a process for probably somebody else, even though that our come up is set. We still got to stay down, keep your head down, keep grinding. It's not enough. You know what I'm saying?
generational.
Yo, it's generational, bro. So it's like, I can't, you know what I mean? We can't stop. You gotta still come up to the top. You gotta stay down. And as soon as you get to the top, you know, you gotta stay down again, because you gotta keep it.
Yeah. So, you know, I want to give you your flowers, bro, because not a lot of people reach that, you know, that level of success, especially in our community. Like your doctor, Dana Norseed. And like I said, we know each other on a personal level. Like we still them ones, you feel me? Like we still link up, we still do what we do. But at the end of the day, we know we got to stay focused to achieve at that high level, like I mentioned before. So I really, you know, I also want to talk about, you know, the mental aspect in this podcast as well, like the mental resilience that's needed in order to, you know, reach that level. So when we talk about the mental health side of that journey, that staying focused, staying committed through setbacks, right? How did you manage your mindset during those tough times?
Tunnel vision, bro. Tunnel vision. You give me my flowers, I got to give you your flowers for what you achieved, and just being my confidant, and also somebody I could run to outside of the tunnel vision. Because, you know, I had to lock in so much, but then immediately after the lock in, you know, I could kind of like be all down and be myself, right? Like, I am a doctor of physical therapy, so that I don't want to get that confused. But, you know, it's been a whole bunch of years of school and so forth. So at the end of the day, we want this podcast to be authentic. My whole philosophy is authentic. You know, bro, like I cared about sports. So like academic wise, it was very tough. So to sit there in a library for, you know, over 16, maybe 16 is an exaggeration, but it was a long ass time, bro. Like, you sitting in front of a computer trying to memorize stuff, trying to learn stuff, trying to build your own psyche, lock in, and so forth. But then, like, there has to be like, yo, Aunt, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on real quick? Like, hop on the phone. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Like, I got this long drive, bro. You was there. So back to your original, you know, point of this segment is that, like, bro, I just had like, bro, blinders on, tunnel vision, bro. Like, remember right now, just preparing for the podcast, you said headphones and not headphones, bro. Like, when I went to a silent library to try to study and memorize something that I already knew that I had obstacles from, bro, I had to go put a little bit of investment and go get soundproof Bose headphones. Like I'm going to the silent library, and for real, I'm getting in trouble because I'm going in the silent library because we don't have restrictions. We had restrictions not to go in there, but that was the only place that I had consistency of success studying for something that was so hard. So it's like, yo, bro, phone away. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not entertaining, certain things that uh, I like and enjoy. I might not be able to be on the phone with you no more longer than 10 minutes, because then we gonna segue somewhere else. Or I'll never forget this, bro. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I love basketball, bro. Like I've watched every single NBA finals ever since I've been able to watch. Anatomy, physiology, 2016, 17. I got maybe 2 more tests. I got a test and a half left to basically get a passing grade. Okay. And we have full access to that anatomy cadaver lab. And it's the game that LeBron blocks Iguodala. I did not watch that game because, low key, like, you know what I'm saying, I'm very passionate about LeBron and Kobe and so forth. So I knew that if I seen that game, and depending on what would happen, it would have took off time from studying, and it would have messed up my, you know what I'm saying, my focus, my consistency and my focus. So I chalked it. But I also remember back in the past that my dad always used to be mad at me for just watching sports, because he's like, yo, bro, they making they bread and you just watching them. So it was just like, yo, bro, I really wanted to come up, bro. I really wanted this. I really wanted this so bad because my back was against the wall. So, man, bro, something that I really enjoy, basketball, bro. We talking about, you know what I mean? Like I had to go back and watch the YouTube of that, bro. Chalk that, bro. It ain't worth it. It was worth it to make here to get to another level. So exactly what you said. So Dodger could see it, so we could keep going. So it's tunnel vision, something so cliche. And around the time, it's crazy because tunnel vision dropped by Kodak Black during PT school.
Yeah, so you touched on a big topic that, I want like our younger viewers to hear. Like, it's okay to miss that game. It's okay to miss out on that event. Like, sometimes you just gotta, like you said, lock in and just miss out on some of those things. Like, those things will come later. So I'm glad you pointed that out, because like even me, like, I finally became a licensed therapist, but I had to take that test 3 times. I failed twice. The third time, like, I had that tunnel vision like six months prior, just locked in. I had to miss those Sunday football games, like you said, and just watch them at 5 in the morning when I go in the gym, recap. Like sometimes it takes us that sacrifice. So, and you also pointed out on my next question, like some of those coping mechanisms that you use. Like you said, you had to buy those soundproof Bose headphones to lock in. Like sometimes you got to make that investment. So, to our viewers out there, sometimes, taking that purchase to invest in your, what you need to do in order to lock in, like just do it. So, good insight. So next thing I want to talk about is sacrifice. Again, in order to reach your dreams, you got to sacrifice. Let's speak on some of those things you have to sacrifice in order to get here.
Sacrifices come small, big. Sacrifice time, sacrifice family, sacrifice financial statuses, goals that you want to achieve at the time. The list of sacrifices is long, but at the end of the day, no matter what the sacrifice is, I've always had, and I probably could tap in and try to remember where I had it, but I always had, if I'm going to do a sacrifice, the sacrifice ain't going to go in vain. And that always goes all the way back to my parents, because when I think of like biggest purpose is that, like, I started realizing all the sacrifices that they made. And it's like, I would feel really bad if their sacrifices went in vain and I didn't come out to something, or they wouldn't be proud. You see what I'm saying? So then I take that, and every single thing that I sacrifice, I'm just trying to make sure that hopefully down the line it's meant something. So it's like, all right, time. You look at 11 years in the classroom from 2010 up until 2021. That was time. But as soon as that time was over, automatically the keys in the door started opening up to get to the goal that I achieved. See what I'm saying? So it's like the 11, and I kept adding more time. As you know, he used to call me, he said, Booker T. Washington, like, yo, bro, you going back to school. But it's like, yo, bro, if I'm gonna go back to school, it's because I'm trying to get to the point. You know what I'm saying? Yo.
Now we got to talk a little bit more about that junk right? We are like, so the reason why I called him one time Booker T is because my son Dano travels. Like we have a story where he just, took me on a joyride basically to North Carolina, High Point. When he went to High Point, I took that journey with him, and like he was going to Then you was driving it when you was with Kansas City, you was driving in the fog. So like you always make those traveling sacrifices, like, you know, Booker T, you know, traveled many miles just to go to a library. So I correlated that joke with Dano, but in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? Like he was grinding for his studies. So, you know, Booker T is historic. So Munson, you know, was doing historic things at the time, and the correlation in that joke is positive though.
It's positive, yeah, but it's like, it's bro, like, and it's tough because, you know, we're such good friends, so we're gonna like hit a lot of topics, and we're gonna know a lot of things between me and you, but like whoever's listening and so forth. But like, bro, it's all about just like, you have a plan A, then you got a plan B, but make sure your plan B gets you back to your plan A, bro. So if I'm gonna do a sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, for something, like, bro, you know, you should understand the sacrifice. Sometimes the sacrifices are so small and you got a lot going on. You're not gonna see exactly, but if you're, you know, in the present and you're really calculated about your dreams and aspirations, you do something, you're gonna see it through, bro. When I went back to school, you know, after the 2-year gap between 2014 and 2016, and worked all them odd jobs when I was living in DC, bro, you think that after 2019 I'm gonna stop? No, the sacrifices and times already put in, so it's just a little bit more. Stay down till you come up. All right, bet, another denial, bro. When I look at it, I still, bro, like the sacrifices of going back to school and time and not missing family, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am never going to probably be able to attend a Lincoln University homecoming, right?
Yeah, you be saying
Because
that, bro. You got to make it to one, bro. Come on.
maybe, but that's during football.
Nah, but it's
You know what I'm saying? Right. It's sacrifice because, bro, my plan A is huge. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta sacrifice that. And eventually, bro, man, let's speak it to existence. And maybe it is. And you know how we like to flex. I'm just staying down till the day we come up, bro. And we go back on the yard and we flex harder than y'all just did
Your heads.
for the 10th anniversary.
When Dano pull up, it's a movie.
Right, it's not, but yo, it don't even have to always be about that. You feel me? But it's just, bro, you make a sacrifice, bro. Just exactly how when we was, you know, intake process to Kappa Alpha Psi, bro. If we join this, bro, we gotta finish this shit out.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Since we there, right? What has the pledging process taught you? Like some of those poems, like you know the noobs keep it peace. So let's go back to the P's. Like what did that teach you?
Prior planning preparation prevents piss poor performance. Piss poor performance produces pain. Yeah, I mean, so like if you plan, if you prepare, if you do all the right things, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna see the results. If you don't, you're gonna have pain. Now, bro, pain is just like, bro, you're gonna lose the job. You're not gonna get the acceptance.
It's gonna be a whack.
You're gonna be so sick.
Yeah.
When you failed by 1 point, and that was because you went out with people that might not be in or out, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then it's just that one thing. So you mentioned earlier when you like failed test, bro, I have a history of failing tests, but every single time I failed it or I passed it, I just kind of like eliminated the thing that I had to go back and revisit and see, yo, bro, this is a distraction. Is this helping me get to that point? Oh, it's gone, because the sacrifices that I'm trying to make is bigger than that. You see what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. And then, you know, bro, you're a licensed therapist. Compartmentalism is prioritizing, right? So, bro, if you really have a dream, you remember, bro, you was right there with me when I hit the submit button for PT CAS, which is the physical therapy application, bro. That was my second go around. Mad bread. I don't got no bread. Mad bread invested, going back to school, 16 credits UDC. I punched it. I said, yo, bro, if I don't get in this time, you know what I'm saying, I kind of in the moment was like, I might give up. But bro, the reason why I was going so hard when I got into school, because I was like, bro, if you fail out of this shit now, bro, all the shit that you're gonna put in, you're like damn near, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, as soon as I do something, like, and there's any type of sacrifice, any type of, you know, energy exerted, bro, you gotta see it through.
Yeah.
Gotta see it through, dog.
So I want this to touch the next young person who's probably in school right now, you know, who has those admirations to become a physical therapist. Let them know some of your school journey. Like we touched a little bit about that, like how you had to go to High Point, but you know, we met at Lincoln, you know what I'm saying? So you've been through some schools. Like we both went to UDC too. I'm a graduate of UDC as well, but you know what I'm saying? Like
UDC.
Like let them know the schools that you went through and why you went through those schools during your process to get to where you at.
All right, so the first school is St. Joe's Regional in Montville, New Jersey. That's North Jersey. That's all boys Catholic high school. It's on the border of New York and New Jersey. If anyone's familiar, it's a prestigious high school. I always wanted to go there because of sports, because of what it produces. You've met a lot of my good friends. That's kind of like the foundation of being at a good academic school, high sports at an early age, high platform for sports. So I go there, and that builds the foundation for my love of sports, and I exposed me to a predominantly white institute when I kind of grew up in a more urban Caribbean culture, right? So I go there from 2010, right? Yeah. I leave out of 2010. So '06 to '10, right? So around that time, I don't know if you remember, like Drumline, all that was lit. Historical black colleges was getting their stage in movies and so forth. But there's Malcolm Carter. He was at the St. Joe's Regional High School, but that I was at. His dad or his family must have went to Howard. So he was the one kind of actual influence spec that at St. Joe's was willing to dabble into the historical black college route, because my friends and brothers and classmates and colleagues leaving out of St. Joe's Regional, you're going to more commonly either end up in Ivy League schools or gain a scholarship through sports and end up at a Power Five or predominantly white institute. I kind of wanted to experience what I was seeing on TV, and I kind of wanted to kind of get out of the shell that I had to be in every time I would have to go to school at high school, because it was a shell. Even though like our core group of athletic friends and so forth, we still kept our culture and we're able to go back home, back to our respected neighborhoods and so forth. But man, when I get into the segment of what Lincoln was, even though I didn't know at the time, that's part of my journey, bro. That's really under every Instagram, social media post, I say HBCU made. I rep that first HBCU, bro. Like I probably wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for that exposure. But like I was saying, like I really wanted to go to Hampton. I wanted to go to Howard. I didn't even get into Howard. I wanted to go into all that route, but by being at the college preparatory Catholic high school, that it set me up for being able to get accepted to a lot of the schools. But I didn't know the history. So, thank to God, thank to, coincidence and so forth, bro, going and attending Lincoln University isn't even really a planned thing. Lincoln had offered the full academic scholarship, and I took that. I wasn't really a good student, and it's just because of the level of education that's at the high school, St. Joe's Regional, that by the time you get, to your SATs and ACTs, it's just putting you at a better platform to get in. Because if I didn't get into Howard and I basically was going to get half a scholarship and really was going to try to walk on Hampton and try to still keep the sports going and so forth, trying to, keep up with my friends that were already on scholarships at PWI and Power Five schools. That's really where I wanted to go. So then now when we go to Lincoln, Lincoln's just a beautiful place. I don't think this episode has enough time to talk about the memories of that. But so Lincoln allows me to be an adult or a young adult away from home, and then also see all of the amazing, people and different cultures that you get at Lincoln University, being a historical black college, still kind of in the tri-state area. But then now, once I figure out that I want to kind of go the medical route and take the clinical track more serious at Lincoln, predominantly white institutes, and whatever institution was in line with my goal kind of guided next. So I don't know if you remember, I went to Westchester University up the road the year of intake process so I could get a higher science GPA, and a higher GPA to get into Kappa. So that was my first, right? So I really took a class at Westchester University.
Summer?
That was summer. I took two classes. I took bio, and statistics.
Yeah.
I had to, because I had to get a you remember Lincoln would allow you to probably get the better grade elsewhere, and then if it was higher, they would merge it. I don't know if they still do it now, but that was the whole concept of that. So then now now I hit this little like 2-year gap, not getting into schools as easily as I wanted to because of lack of guidance and so forth, with the journey, how strategic it is. So I have to redo credits, and by relocating to Washington DC, taking the internships or whatever over there, UDC was the closest, and I couldn't do the community college. I had to do an actual campus to get the science GPA up again to try to even get into PT school. So that's where the UDC comes into effect. Now, in regards to yeah, hey yo, you gotta understand, bro. This is my right hands right here. One of my right hands. So he's gonna drop some stuff that's gonna really throw you off. But yeah, so now we're at UDC. So I took 16 credits over at UDC while living in DC. And then finally, when the umbrella starts, that memory I told you about, submitting the application, now it got to a point where I was just trying to get into any doctor of physical therapy program available. And guess what? Going back to New York wasn't even in my plan. I didn't want that because I wanted to go to George Washington. I really wanted to live in South Florida, where I have more family down there to make it feasible, and those bigger schools, because I always had that tunnel vision of working, sports. So I always had the mind of what programs, University of Miami, a fan of that, want to be in a PT program. I'm thinking that maybe if you get in the PT program, they'll slide you and let you work football. So I'm attacking big boy schools, bro. Like I always say big boy schools because, coming from, 1854, the first HBCU for sure, it's like, we're a big stage, but we ain't as big as compared to your Ohio States and so forth. So that's what I wanted. But, God humbled me. I got into a school that didn't really require too much weight of the GRE, because there's like a GRE score to get the acceptance. And I end up in a different part of New York, Long Island, NYT. So that's 2016 to 2019. Then you graduate with the degree. I'm thinking, oh, this is my come up. It is a come up. You remember the graduation party. It was the biggest thing, for the family, whatever. But hey, I didn't get into residency, bro. So then now I have to keep going. So then that's where the trip comes to going down to North Carolina. And really, we only went down to North Carolina, you being my road dog, because North Carolina, the school that I was one of the 3 schools that I was applying to go and get my master's of athletic training, they required an interview. And the interview was just the day before PJ's B-Day. So that's why we went down there. But at the same time, through the interview and kind of being a little bit older in the process and seeing what they were going to be able to offer, and it was going to hopefully help my trajectory to get my goal, that's where I go. And then that is basically the final academic institute before the dreams start coming into fruition. So yeah, we go St. George Regional, we go Lincoln University, you go Westchester University while at Lincoln University, you go University of District of Columbia, then you get into NYT, after NYT, High Point University, and then we've been in the league ever since, thank God.
How many schools is that? I even count. I was like, about what?
Bro, how you count? St. Joe's, Lincoln,
And then to
Westchester, UDC, NYT, High Point University.
6 schools.
6 schools, bro.
How many years is that? 13?
That's 11.
11 years.
Yeah, 11 years technically.
So yeah, like to that person out there that
Gotta keep going, bro.
on that road, like don't give up. Like it takes time. You're gonna get there.
Tunnel vision. Stay down till you come up. Stay 10 toes down. Make sure you have a plan A. And if you have a plan B, it gets you back to your plan A. Kick in the door. Never accept no. I got mad no's, bro. Just not accepting it. Kick in the door. All right, bet. Somebody give me a piece of game. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
All right. And also just like, you kind of got to connect the dots, bro. Like, so the schooling and understanding that, I'm making it sound so simple, but that's long hours of being on LinkedIn and seeing, all right, bro, this dude went to that school and it kind of worked out for him. And this school is, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people at the area or fulfilling the dream that I want. Oh, that guy kind of looks like me, acts like me. That's my visual of who, my visual role model, my distant role model. If he went to that school, then after that, you gotta. So I started, obviously you start in the early age, but now these younger kids or whoever's watching this, you have so much information. I'm about to be 33, right? How old are you?
31.
31. So like, I just feel like we did, but we didn't have all this information. So it's like, bro, you got to be guided. So then now as the school, as you see the journey gets towards the, the later part of it, I'm being more strategic so that the first couple schools is just like, all right, I want to go here because of that. If you really want to get to where you're going, you can connect the dots, because that's in the schools is the network. You go into the interview, you reading the admissions and the about and the alumni, reviews and going to open houses. You got to be strategic with that.
All right, so now that you mentioned that, let's talk about some of that personal growth. So people just think it's just the school that's going to teach you everything. So let's talk about that person that's going to the undergrad. You know what I mean? They go into undergrad and right after graduation, they may get lost. They may think like, oh, I didn't get where I wanted right after undergrad. Like, can you talk about some of those additional hours you got to put in after the classroom, those additional hours you got to put in after the trainings? It just doesn't learn there. You got to put in the work at home or outside in order to get that real, you know what I'm saying, that real, to understand it. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't come from the teacher. People think that the teacher is going to teach them everything, but it comes from some of those books that you just, that you had to make sure you put in today so people could visualize. You know what I mean? What did some of those books teach you? Personal growth.
You got perseverance. You got a mentality that is completely, you get the Mamba mentality. It's resilience over everything, right?
I read that.
That's on the bottom.
That's why we put that there, because we both read it. So you got.
Let me see if I probably can tell you. Mamba mentality, chop wood, carry water, encore effect.
You put me on encore effect.
Mindset of a champion, habits of a champion, right? Elevator pitch of all those books, bro. Perseverance, be consistent, be very critical. You're saying, okay, during your, actually apply, if some people say passion, and then let your passion, you kind of like be your purpose, but you really got to tap in. Are you really passionate about it, right? Like, are you really ready to run through the wall and really put in extra hours? So like the Mamba mentality, I remember he was saying, oh, he wakes up at this certain amount of this certain time and he's getting 3, 4, 5 practices in and so forth. So I just took that and applied it to studying. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you want to stay in the gym all day. All right, bet, bro. Like, I know I'm not the smartest in the world. I have, I have difficulties with written exams. So if I know that, I'm just going to stay up until I could do whatever to get whatever score I need to get to the, to get to the goal. But then also I figured out my strength. So then now I'm going to keep strengthening my strength. I'm going to keep persevering. I'm going to stay in the library. I'm going to put in the hours. Encore effect, right? I'm going to do something to get results again, right? Like, all right, performance, whatever you do, like, we're doing this episode. Are we doing it to the 100% of effort and power and putting in all the work so that somebody else could watch this podcast again? Everything you do, bro. Like, so like I was being just straight literal with that. But you said to the undergrad person like what they should do during their time of undergrad. I think you have 4 years in undergrad, and you can go in there and just be completely tunnel vision and understand that like time is very precious. You could go to the undergrad and kind of like have balance your first couple years, try to figure it out, but you gotta participate in activities. You gotta join certain organizations. You gotta network. You gotta meet people. You gotta gain everything out of the school, out of the experience, right? So when we think of Lincoln, at Lincoln, I was able to establish kind of like a name for myself and, just be the college guy or whatever. I went through that for like, the first year. Then by the second year, it was, try to get grades, opportunity. And so I would say I wouldn't say it was by the second year, but I'm telling you the next phase is like, try to get good grades, try to make sure, I'm graduating on time. So now I'm taking academics serious. Then all at the same time, bro, I was in the training room doing hours, but then I went to the town of Oxford and coach football. Then on top of that, because of life experiences in the state and town of Pennsylvania where we went to school, I found a job that's, was basically my first exposure to, the medical field. Remember, I was a direct support professional working with intellectual disability kids at Devereux, Westchester. Only reason why I found that out was because I actually went to the open house that was in the student union building, right? So, and then, like not only just utilizing the resources at your school, you're neighboring around your school, because Lincoln, I love Lincoln to death. But at the time that we were there, was it the best school for someone to want to embark on a physical therapy journey and so forth? No, but Lincoln has 2 licensed physical therapists within a short amount of time. Me and Patrice Simone, and we actually ended up going to NYT together. But at Lincoln, you still go to University of Delaware, which is 15 minutes up the road, and try to get hours and try to meet somebody. There's a Peak Physical Therapy in the back roads, ATI up the road. You know what I mean? You got you're this close to Philly. There's so many, you know, medical schools. You got to use your resources. And you know, we're from New York, and that's a blessing in itself. And I think, you know, I talk to a lot of people all the time, and that's the foundation of why we have that go get a mindset, and we're gonna talk to everybody around us. We're gonna use our resources. We're gonna be resourceful, you know, well connected like Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? But you have to do that. So basically, I like elevator pitch again. What I say to the young person that's going to the undergrad: maximize your entire opportunity, because guess what? I don't know if you was there for scholarship or money, but it's time, it's sacrifices. All these things kind of go back and tie in. If you're not on scholarship, the loans is gonna knock on your door, and I hope you are happy where you're at in your life of what you did for the loans and sacrifices you take. If you went on scholarship, it's still 4 years of time out of your life. If you want to compare to somebody else, like you could have been doing something else. So what's your come up? Stay down till you come up. Make sure your sacrifices don't go in vain. So you can't be like the cool guy. I don't want to join this, because the time is gonna pass. Tomorrow's a new day. You also always could pick up something and just do it and achieve. But the worst thing is to look back and be like, damn, bro, like I spent 4 years at this spot and I didn't even like use the resources that was around. That's sad.
Good stuff. No, that's good stuff. So before we close out, what's one piece of advice that you would want to leave out there to that viewer that's chasing that dream and that needs to stay down until they come up?
Never take no for an answer. And you got to be your biggest fan. You have to envision, literally close your eyes and envision your dream, because there's going to be tough times during the process. So that's got to be, even though at the end of the day it may not be as crystal clear as you envision, but you got to keep envisioning that to make it past the obstacles. And you have to have faith, spiritual journey, religion, and so forth. I'm trying to be, respect to all the religions out there, but I'm not here if it's not for God. I'm not here if I'm not going to church and studying and doing that and locking in and being consistent with that, kind of like reading the Bible, Psalm 91, you know, James chapter 1 verse 2-4, just going through perseverance, because you understand, it's not the exact verse, but the theme of it is like, you got to embrace the perseverance, because through the process you're gonna become something. You know, you're gonna gain something from it, and you just got to keep going. So you got to all those, but definitely the first one, like, no, just keep going and don't reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely. Dano, my brother, I want to thank you joining us for the first episode of the Kliché podcast.
This is good.
To our viewers, again, this is the first episode. We got a lot more to come, but you know, we want to start off strong. You know what I mean? Like we it's a new year. We said we're gonna do this platform, and we went ahead and did it. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Like when you say you want to do something, go out and do it. But again, my brother, appreciate you, and you know we're gonna lock in again, do another episode.
For real, bro. 1, 2, yes, sir. Thank you.